Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, the Wrestling Diaries, which is the name of this podcast, proudly brings to you its host extraordinaire, Mitchell Roulane. Check us out on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Radio Public. For the audio content, for the video content, go to YouTube, like, share, comment, and subscribe. Hit the notification bell right there for more content we release once to maybe twice a week. Also, if you go to the audio content on the files to just listen to the audio, please leave us a review because it helps us show up in the algorithm and the searches for things like this and helps get our message and our show out there. This is the podcast show for the average Joe, the inspiration station, blue collar conversation. Today, I have a special guest that I met from the Viking party, the Viking Diaries we did. Khara, the Crystal Goddess Cole. Wow. Perfect. What a perfect insert for that. Khara, thank you for coming on the Wrestling Diaries today.
Thanks for having me. I was really excited to do this.
Yeah, so for anybody wondering, a real quick backstory, I met Khara at the Viking party. We were hosting the Viking Diaries, the fun little name we did. We had a room set up, and I did quick little interviews, and Khara was one of the vendors there.
It was?
And she came in and she talked to us for a little bit. Actually, I'll post a link on the synopsis of this episode so people can go check out that if they want to see, I guess, your origin-ish. But tell us, how do you know about the Viking party and stuff like that? Do you know people? Do you know Margot?
Oh, yeah. I know Margot and Rav. I've known them forever. If you grew up in Birmingham, especially around the older South Side crew, which they're, not in the same generation maybe as I am, but yeah, I hang out with them and that crew over there, and there's a lot of cool people.
100%.
They attract the coolest people to me.
They really do. They're they're like a star, and they're in the middle, and there's this little solar system, everybody revolving around them.
Yeah. They're magnets for talent also and artists, and I don't know. It's just, they're so cool.
Yeah. And it's crazy too, because they're real estate agents. And I'm going to tell you right now, my real estate agent that sold me my home several years ago, no offense, Kathy, but she's not very artsy and eclectic and stuff like that. And really a lot of real estate agents that I've met are and they're into music. And freaking Margot does fine art painting.
Oh, yeah.
They used to go to all these punk rock shows where they told me about how they met Iggy Pop, and I was just like, what?
Dude, my dog is Iggy Pup.
What kind of dog is it?
He's a frickabilly hound.
Okay, I don't know what that is, but Iggy Pup. What do you think of that, Matt? Iggy Pup. Does he get super drunk and cut himself and piss on the audience?
Well, he does sometimes piss inside, but no, we've stopped the cutting. It's not healthy. But yeah,
Iggy Pup.
He's definitely got the energy, though.
I love puns for pups. It's great. So you were a vendor at the this past year's Viking party. I keep wanting to say Viking Diaries. My brain's getting tied up here. At the Viking party, you were a vendor. Tell us what you were selling and how you became a vendor for the Viking party.
So I got into a creative rut, I'll say. During COVID, a lot of us did. I work in healthcare as a marketing director. So it's I work in a creative space, but in healthcare, it's very narrow. So during COVID, I was working from home. I was kind of having a little bit of a creative block, if you will.
Yeah.
And so I was like, I'm going to make something.
Okay.
And so then I just started making things, and it started out with organic rose tonic face mist that I make from roses and aloe out of my own garden. And
you have your own garden?
Of course.
Doesn't everybody?
Doesn't every millennial have a garden?
I don't have a garden. I feel so left out.
You're kicked out of the millennial club.
Yeah. Hey, Gen X, I'm coming there with you guys.
Yeah.
Or what is the new one? The Gen Zs?
Gen Zers.
Gen Zers. I guess I'm just going to have to share.
Yeah.
But anyways, so out of your garden and...
Yep. And then I was just giving it away, and I was making rose water to drink as well, which is really healthy for you.
Interesting.
A lot of people don't realize just the average rose that you find in your garden, or like even knockout roses, like literally the roses in front of McDonald's that they use to like beautify the place outside.
Yeah.
Those are edible.
Really?
As long as they're organic and they're not sprayed with pesticides, you can eat any rose petal.
What are the health benefits for eating roses? I got to hear this right now.
So I don't eat. Well, I could. I have eaten a rose, but I double distill it down into rose water and then drink that.
Okay.
And roses are a natural anti-inflammatory, a natural antiseptic, and they have vitamins A, C, and D. No, I'm sorry, E. And it's just, they have vitamins that other things don't. And so, like a couple of years ago, I actually made the prediction, like, I bet roses are going to be like the new, like, beauty and health thing.
Yeah.
And, like, rose water and stuff. And sure enough, people picked up on it. But, so once I got tired of making face mist and just giving it away, I started selling it. And then I was like, well, I don't only want to have one product. So I started making organic soy wax candles with pure essential oils. And it was really important to me for the sustainability factor. And, you know, just, I didn't want any chemicals in it. So
do you use like the wooden wicks that they use?
Yeah.
Okay.
You got to have wood wick.
Yeah.
Like, if you're going to buy a candle today, you got to have the wood wick.
Yeah.
The noise.
Like the crackling. Yeah. Love that.
Oh, so good. But yeah, that's kind of what got me started. And then I was like, I'm going to stick some crystals in these candles. And I was like learning about Reiki and healing energy and crystals and things like that. And I've always had a very like big draw into like energy. Fun fact, 9 people in my family have been struck by lightning.
No way.
Yeah.
9 people?
9 people. I was
Are
almost
they
one of
all
them.
alive still?
Some of them, like half of them lived.
Oh my gosh.
But so we hold like, or I hold like super, like even with like watches. See, I've already broke this watch. I have to have replaced, the battery replaced every 3 months because I break any watch, or if I like in my home, if I keep an analog clock, it speeds up.
Dude, that's insane.
It's just your energy field. It's like everything's made of energy, right?
Wait, hold on. Let me do this. Ready? Let's see. I
know.
She shocked me. That's pretty crazy. 9 people in your family got struck by lightning.
Yeah.
That is insane. I heard a story, like this guy I knew once told me about. He didn't get hit by lightning, but it hit the road he was driving. He said that it's like the brightest flash he'd ever seen, and he went blind. He was blind for like, I think he said like 2-3 minutes.
It'll literally knock you out of your shoes.
Yeah, and he was just like, it's this bright flash, and I couldn't see, and I was driving, so I had to just like, I kind of just hit the brakes and then put it in what I felt like was in park.
Yeah.
And then I was like, oh my gosh, I don't know if I'm ever going to see it again, because I'd never seen anything that bright. And then it was a loud explosion. And he's like, luckily the vision started coming back in about 2 minutes. He was like, yeah, it was the craziest thing I've ever seen. He was like, I can't imagine getting struck by something like that, because just seeing it that up close and personal was
Let me tell you what happens when you do get struck by lightning. So my maternal grandmother, was actually one of the ones. She, her sister, her mom, and her youngest brother actually all got struck at the same time. And then the youngest brother actually died from it. Everyone else survived.
Yeah.
But it was the wildest thing. You could put a watch on her wrist and just watch the dial start kind of just going.
Yeah.
And it rearranged her nervous system. So say she fell in her wrist, she'd feel it in like her hip. Or she sprained her ankle, she'd get a headache. And it's because her nerves were all like cross-wired. Like it just totally like.
Did it always, it stayed like this to this day?
Always. And she never felt pain after getting struck by lightning. She like.
But could she feel anything though? Could she feel like,
oh yeah, like she could feel like, but like her pain receptors or something.
Dude,
like,
that would be so, like, it's so funny because I've thought of the concept of getting I grew up on, I'm a huge nerd. I grew up on like comic books and those pieces of fiction. So I'm always like, oh yeah.
Yeah.
I got bit by a spider.
Oh,
I get some
when's
powers.
it gonna start?
And then I've thought about like, oh, if I get struck by lightning, it would be cool if I had like powers, like electric, and I could fly or something. And
I mean, you
really,
will have powers, but they're very inconvenient powers.
Yeah.
Like not being able to wear a watch all the time.
Yeah, or I have to learn how to walk again. How about that power?
Yeah.
It's funny. I always relate it to like this episode of Family Guy where he's talking about like, you know, oh no, the toxic waste is fine. You get in, it gives you superpowers, and then it shows Peter like rolling around in this like green slime. And then the next scene, he's like, oh yeah, I'm gonna get powers. And the next scene is he's in a doctor's office, and the doctor's like, oh, Mr. Griffin, you have lymphoma. Like, that's just what I think about that stuff. But it never, like every time I get bit by a bug or something, I was like, what if it's that one bug and it's just weird and it does something to my genetic makeup and
it could happen.
I could pick a car up or I don't know, like speed read or something. I don't know. I don't know what the hell the powers would be. Something like that. But back to I can tell this podcast is going to go on just tangent city.
Oh yeah,
and I love it. I love it.
Definitely.
But back to you making these candles and these crystals and stuff. You actually started kind of turning this into sort of like a little small business, right? You started selling them, and
well, I started making so many just to get my creative juices flowing again, and started experimenting with different essential oils and different crystals and even herbs and things. And I started making so many candles. I was like, oh crap, what am I going to do with all of these? So I started again giving them away.
Yeah.
Giving them away. And then people were like, Khara, why are you're giving us all this stuff? Why don't you just sell it?
Yeah.
I was like, sell it? I was like, you think people would buy this stuff? Like, really? And they were like, yeah. So then I made little like gift boxes, and I put tonic and a candle and some crystals and a couple of other little goodie things, and went and hand delivered them to some local boutiques and said, hey, I'm a new vendor. I make organic rose tonic, and I also make organic soy wax candles with healing crystals in them. You got interested? And people were like, yeah. And so I really didn't expect to get such a good response. So then I started ramping up my Instagram account, which is Crystal Rose, all one word. Wait, Crystal _ Rose Goddess. Rose Goddess is all one word. Crystal _
And people can go there to find your product and buy it and look at it. And
oh yeah. I do a lot of custom things. But yeah, all my products are up there. I've been working with a really cool gal. Her name's Camille. She owns Mending Tree Massage. And she has she actually has 2 locations, but she works mainly out of Mount Laurel.
Okay.
And I just created this like luxurious organic massage oil candle for her. And that has like been a huge hit. So you light it and then let it get like a pull of wax, like an even pull of wax on top, and then pour it on your partner.
Oh, shit. So it's sensual oils.
It is.
Not essential, but sensual.
It's essential.
I thought
and
that's where this
sensual.
conversation was going, Matt, and I was going to take it there. But I was like, oh, I don't want to be too crude, but boom. There we go.
Hey, leave it to me.
So your friend though that does massage, does she does what is it? Deep tissue? Does she do?
She does it all. She's got
skeleton.
Yeah. She actually has a really cool backstory. She is a breast cancer survivor.
Oh, awesome.
And she does a lot of work with other survivors or people who are actually going through the process of chemo or radiation. Because she said, you know, you don't really know unless you've been through it, how it affects your body.
Yeah. And
the different systems, and having like a healing touch and massage and, you know, acupuncture and different points of your body that all, goes into it. And so she actually provides services that are specific for people who are going through certain medical conditions, prenatal, postnatal massage. She will even do, things that, she's very mindful of the clinical aspect.
Mm-hmm.
And she actually reached out to me first about crystals because she's like, I'm really getting into, getting these niche sort of healing like products going, and I want to involve crystals. I support them. I believe it, the energy, the healing energy behind them. And it's true. I mean, everything holds energy, right? So
sure.
Like these pants, they're made of energy. You are energy. Table is energy. Everything does. And the frequencies of the energies in the crystals actually sync up with whatever chakra they're for. So I like to work a lot with rose quartz, and it's for your heart chakra. And again, believe me, don't believe me, actually try it for yourself. And whenever I wear my rose quartz, I can seriously feel my heart speed up to the frequency of the quartz.
Whoa.
And it's really interesting.
So what's a rose quartz?
Rose quartz is it's a stone, quartz stone, naturally made. And it's got rose quartz is of course rose colored, so it's sort of pink. But it's a very healing stone for if you've had any if you need healing from past relationships, whether they be romantic or otherwise, or you're trying to open up your heart to a new experience or something like that. It's really good to keep rose quartz on you.
Ooh. Wow, I'm learning so much on this episode. Matt, can you pull up the scientific evidence behind all that stuff she just said?
Yeah.
Pull up the research and the stats.
It's sourced organically from my brain.
Oh, okay. Well, just pull it out of her brain, Matt. Pull it up and put it up there so we can look at the literature on it. That's really cool. That's really awesome. What you were talking about Reiki earlier. So for people that are listening to this and have never heard of what that is, can you explain that in a summarized detail? What
so
Reiki
I will give you a very simplistic explanation of Reiki. Reiki is using healing energy on the body to do anything. I mean, you could use Reiki for anything. Like if you're, having back pain, Reiki can help you. If you're having relationship problems, Reiki can help you. So it's not really tied down to one, the physical or the emotional side of things. It's everything. And it's just healing. It's being able to tap in and use healing energy. And it's very purposeful and very directed. And other than that, I'll be honest, I don't know much more than that about Reiki. I'm still learning, but it's very interesting. And I'm learning more about it as I go, especially using crystals.
Cool. Yeah, you're like a host of young ladies like yourself that are into this crystal thing. Remember Rain, when Rain was on her mat? She had a crystal in her hand through the whole podcast episode. Actually, I don't know if she brought it on the second time she came, but yeah, she.
You heard about my wardrobe malfunctions earlier, so I didn't get to stuff my crystals in my bra this time. But so for viewers, should I tell them?
Sure, go ahead. Be my guest. Why not?
Hey, I'm an open book. So I was 30 minutes late getting here today.
Yeah, she was in trouble.
I was, and it was very unprofessional of me. But they probably, I don't know, maybe not. I'm happy I noticed and went back. But
Sure.
I left the house with no bra on and my pants on backwards today. So as I'm leaving the house, getting in the car.
Just real quick before you continue on, I just got to say, so Matt, the producer, he is like a stone. So anytime he smiles or giggles, it's gonna be funny. And this is pretty funny. Please continue.
Yeah. So, the bra is really integral in holding crystals in place.
I can only imagine. Imagine.
So, yeah.
How do you put your pants on backwards? How does that work exactly? They don't.
I'm capable of so much.
Your pants don't have like a snap or zipper and stuff, obviously. So it's right. They're just like slip-ons. I don't know what
slip-on pants.
I don't know what you would call pants with no snap.
Well, these are
leggings.
Yeah, I guess leggings, but you could definitely notice they were on
leather pants today, ladies and gentlemen.
I am
hot leather pants.
I am hot pants. Yeah. So, but you could definitely tell they were on back. Like, okay. When I went back inside, I was like, oh yeah. And then you could definitely tell I was not wearing a bra either.
You were such an interesting creature, Khara.
You're telling me.
Oh man. So in the event of you turning your, I guess, your candle crystal business into like a more like lucrative, I guess, affair, which I don't know how lucrative is now. It might be I assume though that you do it as like kind of like a part-time gig. And then your other thing was you do marketing, you were saying?
Yes. So, yeah.
But do you have any like grand aspirations for it? Or is it just kind of something you're doing? Or you're like, oh, I'd really love to open my own store one day, either online or in like brick and mortar? Or like, what does that look like? What's the timeline also?
I've been given a lot of opportunities and spoken with a lot of people around Birmingham and maybe some other vendors that you may or may not know. And there may be some exciting things coming up for Crystal Rose Goddess and maybe some partnerships and things like that. With this, I have genuinely let the universe take the reins and just push me in the direction it wants me to go. I did not come up with the name Crystal Rose Goddess. Someone, when I was making my rose water, someone goes, "Oh, you're the rose goddess." Uh-huh. And then when I started incorporating crystals, it's like, "Oh wow, you're the Crystal Rose Goddess." I'm like, name found, I'll take it. And nice. So then I would meet some people, and they'd be like, "Oh my God, you got to do a pop up. Come this Saturday and do a pop up here." Or, "Hey, did you hear about this? You would be a perfect fit to vend this music thing." The Viking party was one of them. It was just random, but I genuinely never say no to new opportunities, which
like
I highly recommend.
That movie, Yes Man.
Exactly.
Says yes to everything.
Yeah, I mean, say yes until you.
It's funny. I had a guest on here, Robbie Capinetto. Shout out, bro. You listen to this episode. He works for Southern Living Magazine. Awesome. He's like one of their senior photographers, I believe. But he talked about that, how he never says no to anything, to any invite or get together and all that stuff. And I was like, that's cool. Unless, of course, you're being invited to this like cult and they're going to like cut you up into pieces. And he was like, "Oh, well.
I was in a cult for a little while."
Oh, yeah. Really? Let's talk about this. She was in a cult.
Yeah. I actually got kicked out of the cult.
You got kicked out of the cult?
Yes.
You're too cultish.
Well, apparently, unbeknownst to me, I was dismantling the cult from inside.
Oh.
Asking too many questions. Okay. So
questions are good, though.
Not for a cult.
Oh, okay.
They don't really work. Cult and questions don't really go together.
I go to church, so I guess some people could be like, "Oh, that is a cult." Okay.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
I mean, it was a Christian cult.
Okay. So I want to hear more about this, though. Let's cult it up.
It was the most uncultivated cult I've probably ever been part of.
If your name was Ann, you'd be Ann Coulter.
Ew.
Shout out.
No, I don't like her.
I had another one-liner. I've already forgotten it. Forget it. Go ahead.
All right. Well,
continue on.
Let's get back to the cult.
Okay.
Yeah, no. I was definitely in a cult and got kicked out.
Okay.
But
kicked out for asking too many questions, ruffling too many feathers.
Yes.
I'll remember that when I start my own cult, which is in the process now. I'll remember that, like, if I invite you, I'll be like, oh,
can I come?
I have like
I'll join.
My grand master, which will probably be Matt or something. He'll be like my grand deacon. I'm like, "Hey, keep an eye on this rose goddess lady."
Hey, the rose goddess.
She likes to mess up cults.
Trouble.
I don't want my cult messed up.
Yeah.
I gotta keep my name in the good like graces of the cult gods. you know?
Yeah. Wow.
Wow. I'm so glad I brought you on the show. This is like actually turning out to be like much more interesting than I thought. Not saying that you weren't interesting, but
Well,
I'm getting a lot of
we're unpacking a lot here today.
Characterization here. It's excellent. So what do you do outside of like doing your marketing stuff for your like 9-to-5 job, and then you're making these crystal rose candles and doing that stuff? What else do you do for fun, or what's your other like things that you do, extracurriculars, like hobbies, loves? What do you got?
Anything outside, anything on the water. Love to paddleboard. Grew up on the Khara River. Actually grew up in a log house on the Khara River.
Wow.
No central heating or air.
Never would have guessed that. You seem like a city girl.
Just because I look fly. But no, yeah, I'm country as cornbread.
Okay.
So I grew up on the river, kayaks, paddleboards, dirt bikes, BMX, anything extreme. So like recently I have gotten into golf.
Get out of here.
Because in business, it's like, I kept noticing like all of the like, of course, male executives would have these like meetings out on the golf course.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, what y'all talking about?
Yeah.
I want to be there. Like, put me in the game, coach. So I started learning. I bought some clubs, started learning. And one of my first lessons with the golf pro, I was practicing my driving, and he stopped me and he's like, whoa. You didn't do like dance or ballet when you were like young, right? Like what sports do you play when you're in school? He said, it's got to be something like extreme. I was like, oh, everything intense and extreme. When it comes to like sports, I never did like the dance and stuff. It was dirt bikes, skateboards, BMX.
I totally,
motorcycles.
This doesn't surprise me about you. I kind of picked that up on your personality.
Oh, thanks. So yeah.
Not an insult.
But that being said, I would take the club and just, just like
Happy Gilmore.
Oh yeah. You got to practice on the tulips first. So anyways, yeah, I would like just full on like try to hit a home run basically with the golf ball. And they're like the driver do the work. I'm like, no, I've got to use more power.
Okay. And how was your power?
It doesn't work for golf, right?
Oh, okay.
So I'm still learning. Not very good.
I just got a mental image of you like on the golf course and you get struck by lightning and then you like tee off and you get like a hole in one and then it explodes and then there's a bunch of crazy shit.
And then
going
I
on.
ascend.
Like, what's going on? Yeah, you ascend. Just like, bro.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, it's the goddess Thor.
It's the Christopher Rose goddess ascending from the golf course.
And then like the golf club is all like bent out of shape.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, we've never seen that happen in 75 years of golf.
75 years.
I don't know. They talk on the golf fields. That's it. I'm paraphrasing these guys with cool socks and funny pants. Mm. Do you wear the weird socks and pants when you go do that? I don't know if that's a thing. I'm just asking.
No, I don't wear pants when I golf.
Oh, okay. Unless they're backwards.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I do pantless golfing.
Pantless golfing. Nice.
It's a new sport.
I feel like that would be like some viral sensation on YouTube. Pantsless golfing by Crystal Rose Goddess.
You may be on to
I might. Hey, it might be $1 million idea. Give it a shot. Give it a shot. I'll let you have my idea.
All right.
Have it. Just remember me when you get to the top, Kara.
When I ascend.
Remember me when you ascend. I'm down here eating scraps. Just bring a brother up to Mount Olympus every once in a while.
It's not a handout. It's a hand up.
Hey, there you go. So what else? What else besides golf? And
oh God.
Oh, so back to you talking about like skateboarding and BMXing, all these extreme sports. I'm assuming that the type of music you also grew up listening to was a lot of hard rock, heavy metal. Like, am I batting pretty well here?
Norma Jean.
I knew it.
Those Chariot.
I knew it, Matt. I knew it.
What is it? Like Alexis on Fire or whatever it was. one of those guys. What was the band who the lead singer actually like murdered someone?
Oh, I don't know, Matt. Can you look that up real quick, or do you know off the top of your head?
It was like one of those types, you know, like in the Under Oath, like Christian, like hardcore scene, and then
dude,
it's
me and Matt
like
grew up in that scene.
Yeah,
100%. We went to Cave 9 and like a couple other cool places for some punk rock. And
Cave 9.
shows.
Did you go to Hotel Birmingham? That's the real.
No. Wait, I didn't. Matt, did you go to Hotel Birmingham for shows? Yeah, it didn't ring a bell to me.
What about the Fish?
Yes. Matt used to work for the Fish.
No
he did
way.
their sound. Yeah, he did their sound stuff. Did you go to the Fish? You know what? I thought she looked familiar. I bet we've probably crossed paths with her in all the like punk rock shows and stuff we went to. I bet.
Probably.
So when I first saw you at the Viking party, I was like, she kind of looks familiar. And I never forget a face. I'll forget who they are, where I saw them, but I was just like, something similar about that person.
You probably did. I looked very different back then. So we're talking like 20 years ago.
Did you have the scene here, the coif over your face?
Of
You like whip it
course.
around.
Of course. I was like, yeah, all of it. The little barrette, like the tiny barrette that does nothing, but you just shove it in there anyways, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, obsessed with Malines and the Sons of Disaster. Oh my gosh, Dallas from Under.
Oh my gosh, Dallas
He's in a
was
new
so
band.
hot.
He's in a new band. Yeah, I remember they closed down Cave 9 because they had gotten so big, and I think they signed to Ferret, and they were already like a pretty big deal at this point. And then like they had to close the show down because there's too many people showed up.
I was at that show.
Were you? There you go.
Yeah.
How about that?
And they moved it to a warehouse in Alabaster, which is the cult.
The cult that you went to.
The cult I was in.
Wait, so let me see if I can figure out.
It's all a circle.
Yeah. How about this?
Yeah, because we were upstairs at Cave 9 and like literally like the floor was like giving.
Yeah.
And the fire marshal came and shut it down.
Shut it down, yeah. Wow.
And what was the ska band?
Oh, I don't know. Matt, you want to take a
There's
swing at that?
no.
He didn't know.
I think I'm older than y'all. I don't think it's my age, but I think I'm older.
Real quick though, where did you go to high school at?
I'm a Palin Panther.
Oh, okay. Yeah, we knew people from McAdory and yeah.
Go Panthers.
Go Panthers. Go Panthers. Yeah. Go somewhere. Go to hell.
Go to hell, Panthers.
I'm kidding. That is so crazy. Small world.
Yeah.
Small freaking world, Kara.
Lived 1,000 lives.
1,000 lifetimes. Crystal Rose Goddess.
Exactly.
What are your aspirations for the future? What do you want to, like, when you close your eyes and you think about like Kara just in her dreams, her dream world, right? What does that look like when you open them? What's you like, if you could just, I dream of Genie it, cross your arms and nod your head, what would your like perfect dream life look like right now?
I think it would look pretty similar to what I got.
Oh, wow.
I mean, I'm happy.
What a interestingly profound answer.
Not to be like, my life's great. It's not always great, but like, I'm cool with it right now.
You seem like you have a lot of gratitude. That's good.
I am. I'm very, very grateful for everything I have. And I came from a family, very blue collar, obviously growing up in a longhouse.
Right.
You know, very blue collar, very, you know, hardworking, good work ethic. But, you know, first person to go to college, definitely first person to go to grad school.
Yeah.
Started my career, you know, I was hungry though. Like, that's the thing. That's what, because I do a lot of mentoring with upperclassmen and grad students at Alabama.
Okay.
I host a spring career workshop. And one of the things, you know, that I've noticed, and when I was coming out of school, it was like right after the recession hit. So it was like the job market's terrible.
Right.
And so I literally...
So was the housing market.
Yeah. So I literally, you know, looked at the people in my senior class. We had a group project, and I said, look, it's me versus all of y'all. We're not on a team. We're competing against one another. And I will outwork every single one of you.
Wow. Did you?
Did I?
Did you? I don't know.
Yeah. But no, I mean, because I was hungry, dude. Like, but that's the thing. You got to be hungry for it, right?
Oh, sure.
Like,
Yeah.
You got to be the one that's like, yeah, I'm going to outwork you.
Yeah. I mean, if
you know, and like, maybe I don't outsmart you every time, but I'll sure as hell outwork you. Yeah.
Yeah. You're a very tenacious person, I can tell. And that's really awesome. It's very inspiring too.
Oh, thanks.
Also though, like I look at it the same way, like you are in a competition for people, but I also like to think that too, like sometimes people, and I'm not saying this about you, I'm just like thinking out loud, but sometimes like when you look at people just like competitively, like you're always like trying to make sure like you're beating them, then you might actually miss the point of like real connection and like building something. True. And like the way I look at it is I do compete, but also like I want to help people out. So too many people are like they don't like, they're like, oh, this is just for me. I want this. I'm keeping this to myself. Yeah. But like other people are starving. I say this metaphorically and even literally. And so I feel like also that's really important to a recipe of success is mm-hmm. to be generous and giving and to build community, because sometimes that's also something that'll boost the work morale. And then it also makes the competition better, right? Yeah. You're helping them so they get better. It's like doing martial arts. Like I grew up doing martial arts on and off again.
2nd degree black belt right here.
And what?
Yoshika.
Oh, heck yeah. Look at you. I don't have any like significant belts. I took karate a little bit when I was little. And then I did like MMA stuff with a friend of mine. We did Muay Thai boxing and Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. Yeah. And after that, he took up doing Krav Maga, which is Israeli. Mm-hmm. And he started his own gym, which he still does now. Shout out Matt Holder. He's also a private investigator if anybody needs a PI. Yeah, he's badass.
Wait, I feel like we would probably be friends. That sounds like a very like...
But what I learned in that is like I wanted to beat everybody in the class, mm-hmm. maybe essentially, but I also like just wanted to learn. Mm-hmm. And sometimes I love to lose. Like I got somebody much better than me and they kicked my ass, but I liked it. I absorbed it. And I was like, this is what he did. And I got better. And then as I got better, they would get better. And then everybody got better. Right. And I feel like that's a really important thing as well.
What is it, like a high tide raises all ships?
Yeah, exactly.
I agree. I think the people that are hungry and the people that go after it and that are ambitious, your ultimate reward is giving that back.
Yeah.
So,
absolutely. 100%.
Like when I say I'm hungry for it, I'm hungry for success, but I'm hungry for it to give it away. You know?
Yeah.
It's like, you know,
live big, you got to give big, right?
Exactly. And karma is such a thing. Like,
it really is.
Oh my God, karma.
No matter what you believe in, what you subscribe to, karma exists.
Karma, whatever you want to call it. It is a thing.
Reaping your own harvest.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. And if you do everything with integrity, I think that's another key. Integrity.
That's a good band. Good hardcore band. Misha. Do. Sorry. Anyways, go on. Sorry.
I was going to start the vocals. No, I mean, doing things with integrity, doing business right, you know, treating people right. Yeah. You know, like.
Golden rule, right?
Yeah.
Golden rule, treat people the way you would like to be treated.
I recently, had an experience with someone I worked for, and he talked to me like just crazy, like crazy. Like, and I started thinking about like
when you say he talked to you crazy, like disrespectfully or just like wacky or
disrespectfully,
okay.
Threw me under the bus, told
what
me.
An asshole.
Yeah. God, I can't say his name right now.
Don't be like that nameless guy.
Yeah.
Be better. Be something else. Go have an apple pie and then think about what you did.
Go off too.
Or that.
Yeah. I mean, he was just disrespectful. You know, I noticed he talked to women a different way than he talked to men. He told me, you know, like, he would literally like tell me to shut up and listen.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And this was in a professional setting. So I thought about it for a while, and I thought, would I let anybody else ever talk to me like that, no matter who you were? I was like, hell no. So went back and said, look, you're not going to talk to me like that. And so we parted ways.
But playing the devil's advocate here, though, so you didn't antagonize this individual, right? Like, and just like hit on him or something. So he's like coming back at you, or was
he was my boss, so no.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay. I didn't realize that. All right,
yeah,
all right.
But
it's probably just insecure. I feel like that's a lot of people do that, just projecting their insecurities on you.
I don't know. It's just, I think some people are just
because you talk really fast. You've got a lot of energy, and I feel like people that like they don't know how to like handle that.
Oh,
right?
People
like,
never know how to handle me.
Like, I can't do it. They either like they tune out or they get mad. They get upset because it's like somebody doesn't understand like childbearing. Like they have this kid and it's screaming and hollering, and you're like yelling at the kid. But the baby doesn't understand.
The baby's like, what the fuck? Back just itches, man.
It doesn't know what you're like. You screaming at it doesn't mean it doesn't. It can't rationalize.
Right.
You need to be smarter and better, and not And I feel like a lot of people are just like that. And maybe this gentleman was like that. I don't know. I can't speak for him. I don't know him. Don't know the situation. But I'm sorry that you had to deal with that.
Don't be, because it was a learning experience.
That's true. It doesn't kill you, makes you stronger, right?
Yeah. Well, it made me stronger. It made me, you know what? It pissed me off. Whenever I get pissed off, I do something really cool.
Oh, yeah. What is it? I do something really cool.
I don't know yet.
Oh, okay.
It just happened.
She transforms into a lightning bolt, ladies and gentlemen.
I do.
Shoots at the hip.
Yeah, some like visuals.
Yeah, maybe. Matt do a lot of work for that.
But no, I mean, everything's a learning experience. I had a really profound mentor in my life. Who's no longer with us, but her name is Dr. Inga Himmelwright. And she would always, early in my career and doing so many things and being part of so many different clubs and trying to get involved and really, network and things like that. I had a lot. I fell on my face a lot. I have never taken the path of least resistance. I have done everything in my life the hard way.
Okay.
And that is just me. I don't know why, but I do everything the hard way. And so, when I'd fall on my face, she'd be like, well, what'd you learn? I'm like, well, I learned I don't like this and I don't like that. She's like, no, but what did you learn? I'm like, I learned that I will never treat someone the way that I was treated like that. And I know how to do better business now because of it.
Yeah.
And be a better manager. And she just had the most poised, way of pulling that sort of introspective, okay, Khara, what did you learn? And you can apply that to anything,
Yeah.
any experience.
Yeah, I agree wholeheartedly with that statement. Definitely.
Mm-hmm.
That's really great. You're a very interesting and sprightly person.
Well, thank you.
That's a real word, people.
I'm very flattered by that.
So, Khara, we get to this point of the show now where I try to take us a little bit deeper on this path to really open up people's emotional cages and prisons sometimes. I guess it depends on how far people want to dive. But what are the things in your life that you wrestle with? What are the demons and monsters under your bed and in your closet that you fight with? How are you trying to beat them?
Gosh. Right now, it feels like I'm really wrestling with the perception of what success should look like versus what it actually looks like versus what it feels like. So going back to when I told you I was the first person to go to college, and do that, go that path. I sort of took that to be in my role as okay, Khara, you are the beacon of this family. You've got to be successful. You've got to show that all that time and money you spent going to school and working your ass off and, working full time and doing grad school and, doing clubs in the junior league and everything like that. Like, I thought the more I did, the more successful I would become and look. I mean, let's be real. Like, you want to look successful.
Yeah.
Like, even if you're not. But putting that pressure on myself to be that beacon of my family, like, no one put that on me. I put that on me. And I'm wrestling with the fact that, like, I don't have to even be in the business world. I don't have to, like, have a high title. Like, work for some reason has, like, really kind of, like, messed with my perception of identity, because my identity was so focused on my career for so long, when, like, I've done so many other things and there's so much more interesting things about me than my career. That's probably the least interesting thing about me. So being able to, like, let go of that burden that I put purely on myself of, like, I've got to make this dollar amount by this age and own this and, all of this. Like, you don't. No. Like, your success is whatever makes you feel whole as a human. That's success. If you are completely at peace with yourself and you can look at your life and you can say, I'm doing all right. I treat people well. I do what's, the right thing to do. I make good choices. I look out for others. I'm ride or die for my girls. I will tell you that. That's success to me. What you do for others. So I've been wrestling with changing my definition of success.
Wow. That was remarkably profound.
Well, thank you.
It really was.
But I mean, that's truly what I've been, wrestling with.
I like you because you seem very straightforward, and you definitely seem like one of these people that wears your heart openly, actively, visually on your sleeve.
Yeah.
And I like that, because that has always kind of been my credo about myself personally, right? Like, what you see is what you get.
Absolutely.
Right? Like, I don't like, I mean, everybody has their own little things, their own privacies and secrets and all this blah, blah, blah. But, like, for the most part, like, what you, like, behind closed doors, I don't take off some mask and there's a different face there.
Right.
Like, what you see from the outside is what you get.
Mm-hmm.
And you're like that. And I love and respect people like that so much, because, like, so many people just walk around here with just this cloud, this, like, these facades of just bullshit.
Right.
Right.
And why?
And it's so weird to me. Like, it's just, like, I don't know who, I guess it's insecurity. They're trying to impress people. I don't know what it is. It's a bunch of different, I mean, I've been guilty of it before, just so we're clear. And so now at this point in my life, I feel like real substance comes from a lot of people that do, in fact, they're like you said earlier, you're open book.
Yeah.
An open book can be read.
Yes.
Right? It's not a diary under lock and key. The Wrestling Diaries is not like that. It is an open book. That's why people come on here and share their stories and their struggles. And
right. And you're really easy to talk to.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that.
It's, I think if you would ask anybody who knows me, like, super personally, there's absolutely no hiding my weirdness. Like, I couldn't, even if I tried. It would be too difficult, so it's not worth it. So
yeah, you are incredibly and unapologetically you.
I am unapologetically weird, open. It's like, try anything once.
Yeah, you're crazy. And I don't mean,
I'm a wild and crazy guy.
I don't mean this in a negative connotation at all. You got to be crazy to get stuff done in life. You got to be crazy.
You got to be
Everybody
crazy.
else is not crazy. They're not. They're doing. Everybody's doing the same thing. They're all doing the same thing. Nobody's like happy. Nobody's like living their dreams. Nobody's chasing anything. They're just.
But what are the other words that we think about when we say the word crazy?
Yeah.
I think about innovation. I think about like visionaries, like
like Edison with the light bulb. Like people thought he was insane. They're like, you're not gonna. Like,
I mean, come on, let's not Edison, Nikola Tesla.
Okay,
he's the real deal. But no, like Tesla was a weird dude. Weird. He fell in love with a pigeon.
Mm-hmm. I actually did not know that.
Yeah, he did. He went bankrupt saving this pigeon that broke its wing. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Anyways, he fell in love with the pigeon, was not sexually attracted to women or men, but did have a relationship with this pigeon. Anyways, he's a weird ass dude. But you know what? That's why we have cell phones and Wi-Fi today.
Yeah.
You know? And it's just like the weirdest. I'm so drawn to the unusual and the weird and the interesting.
Yeah. Plus, one of my personal philosophies is like you say weird or strange or whatever, but it's super subjective. What, like somebody called me weird once, and I was like, define weird. What is weird? What does weird mean?
Yeah, what is weird?
Because like if anything, people, especially people, human beings are based to be individual sentient beings, right? They do things differently, they speak differently, they walk differently, they move differently, they like different tastes, flavors, et cetera, et cetera. For everybody to do the same exact thing, the same way, they wear the same clothes, they use the same speech, they like the same whatever it is. That's weird. That's crazy.
Yeah.
In my opinion. Right?
So everything we do on the outside, anything that can be seen or perceived by someone else is all performance. So like an example of that is like you're really nervous to go on a date and like I've got this girl and like, oh my God, I'm so nervous. It's my first date with her and she's so pretty and you know, all right, well, so I don't want to perform nervousness and like look like a I don't know, just not cool to her. So like I'm gonna perform confidence.
Right.
And you, in anything you can describe, you can perform, right?
Right.
And one way I like that kind of all made sense to me was a professor once said to me, he goes, well, Khara, you're just performing Khara. I was like, huh? He said, you are performing Khara. Like, could you tell someone how you dress? Or could someone like dress up as you and you recognize like they're dressed as you? Mm-hmm. Or like act like you and you recognize that they're acting like you? Yeah. Well, that's a performance then.
Nice.
So you could actually, if you think about it that way, you can perform to anything.
Sure.
Job interview. Go in. This is why you need me. You know, perform that confidence. Or, you know, walk into a room of people who are highly intelligent, way more than you, and you know it. Perform intelligent. It's all a performance. I mean, that's just how I think about it.
Let me ask you this question. I feel like this is a good one for you. This is a question I've been asking people for a little bit now. But let's say we invented this just awesome, like innovative, super sweet and badass machine. Mm-hmm. And it's a time machine, but not one that takes you into the future and in the past, like physically, but it's a telephone time machine, right? You can pick it up and you can dial into the past. And let's say we let you borrow this machine that we've made. Ooh. And we're like gajillionaires. Ooh. And you can call yourself in the past at any point, any date, any time. It could be 2 weeks, like 2 weeks ago, or it could be 2 years ago. It could be 20 years ago. And let's say it's you call a Khara in the past that you feel like needs advice from you in the future, right? Maybe she's down on her luck, she's super sad or something, and she could use a pick-me-up. What Khara do you call, and what do you say to her?
Oh, gosh. I'd be making a lot of phone calls. Well, I would definitely call myself this morning and tell myself to put a bra on and my pants on right. So that would be my first call. But I'm joking. I probably would want to get in touch with the Khara that just graduated from the University of Alabama, who had a job lined up at a media agency in Atlanta. They lost a big contract. It fell through. And I thought I was done. Again, I had this idea of success of you come out of school, you get a job, you go in, you already have it lined up. All that fell through. And I had a degree and nothing to do with it. And I was so beside myself because I just could not believe that opportunity fell through.
Yeah.
Which makes sense now. I understand that in the agency world, you lose a big client, you cut staff. That's just how it is in marketing. But you know what? Because of that, I ended up going into the corporate side of marketing. And not that I'm a very corporate type person. I'm not. I don't need to be in any place that has dress code or HR.
I never would have guessed.
Right? So, yeah. But I just was convinced, so convinced I was a failure. That I was going to have to move home and move back home and live at home the rest of my life and go back to my job working at, a bar and, just be that person with a degree, and not doing anything, and which is totally fine. You don't go to college to get a job. You go to college to get an education. And I wish I would have been more receptive to that when I was in school. And then I wish I could pick up the phone and call Khara when she graduated and that opportunity fell through in Atlanta to be like, babe, chill. In 3 months, you're going to get a job. It's going to be your lightning rod. And it's going to just propel you into your career and your future. And you'll never have to worry about getting a job again because you're going to get great experience and you're going to build a resume that's out of this world. Just wait. Right around the bend. And that's kind of always, that has stuck with me for so long. I think because there's only been a few times in my life when I've been that, just in a rut. I mean, everybody. I was not even myself. I didn't even want to be around me. I couldn't imagine anybody else wanting to be. So, just knowing that when things fall through, let it. And just know you're right around the corner for something huge.
Nice. Amen and amen. That was splendid.
Thank you.
Magnifique. Magnifique. Very good.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for being on the show today. I hope you had fun.
I did. Well, I have fun talking and getting to know people, and
this is a hell of an experience. I love this is so much different than my last podcast, and this is what I love. I love my job. I love doing this. It's so fun. Before I sign us off, let me get you to plug in your Crystal Rose Goddess stuff or anything else that you would like to let people know about that you got going on. Use that camera right there. Plug in, my dear.
All right. Well, my name is Khara Cole. I also go by Crystal Rose Goddess. You can catch me in Birmingham. I'm in the scene around the bars, breweries, clubs, dancing, vending, making candles. Check out my Instagram is Crystal_Rose Goddess. All one word, Rose Goddess. Crystal_Rose Goddess on Instagram. I got some cool stuff. I've got those massage oil candles that you may want to start balm for your
The
partner.
sensual oils.
Yes. The sensual candles. So yeah, check me out. Give me a follow. Give me a like. Thanks for having me. You're cool.
Thanks for being on. God bless you, lady. Appreciate it. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning in. If you did, in fact, tune in to this episode of the Wrestling Diaries, the Crystal Rose Goddess, Khara Cole, got a lot of energy. Check us out on our audio platforms, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and a host of other ones. Leave us a review. Go to YouTube for the video content. Like, share, comment, subscribe. Hit the notification bell for more content. You know, Khara has so much energy, and she's so ecstatic and so electric.
I feel like I could run a marathon right now.
I bet you could. And it's so hilarious because, like, I feel like she kind of threw me off my game. Like, I was kind of stumbling over my words. I couldn't think correctly. I'm usually a little bit more articulated than I normally am, but I love that. That was exciting to me. I love it.
It is exciting.
To me, it was like we talked about martial arts. It's like being in the gym and like somebody is better than you and they're just whipping your ass. But I love it. It's experience. I like it. I like to be defeated.
You want to grapple?
I'm good. There's something really wonderful about failure because it makes you better. I think that's what I'm really obsessed with. And I feel like this episode kind of like in a way poetically spoke on that, you know, like art imitating life, so to speak. Also, another thing I took away from it is like the things that you chase in life, like how can I put this? What is the meaning behind it? Are you just trying to impress a bunch of other people? Is this something that you really want? Because if it's not what you really want, then maybe you are in fact chasing the wrong things. You're running after the wrong rainbows and clouds and dreams and all these things. Maybe you should find something in yourself that has heart in it, like your own heart. I know that sounds kind of cheesy, but I feel like this is the message that came from the show is just being yourself, right? Being unapologetically, openly you. And that I feel like is a wonderful thing. Wear your heart on your sleeve. Let people know who you really are. Don't go around faking things. Like, be you, be real, be true. And I feel like the chips will fall where they may and you'll be so much more successful in life, or at least more happy. And I feel like at the end of the day, happiness is
everything.
Yeah, it is everything. And so how happy are you? I don't know. Just regular,
ask yourself that.
Hillbilly.
No, but you should ask yourself that every day. Am I happy?
Yes. Ask yourself that every day. Ladies and gentlemen, what do you wrestle with and how can you beat it? One love.